OMNITRANS, bus number 1333. It is Friday, January 22nd, 2021. It is currently 8:33 a.m. 8:33 a.m. And I am on OMNITRANS bus route 61, headed eastbound. The bus number 1333, driven by a white Caucasian female with her hair back in a bun. She appears to be about 5'4", 5'3", and her employee number is not reflected on the banner, and I will document that. I am on OMNITRANS. P.O.C. is underway. I'm currently located at Grove and Holt Boulevard. All of the exact same elements remain present, including the hallmarks, the impossible light activity, the stage stalking with its light source, and third party 7LXP542.
Grove Avenue.
That is audible activity. Understand, it is all serving ongoing monitoring on the bus. And the bus driver uses the bus itself to create noise, like the exhaust of the bus, to stalk with activity. This is literally P.O.C. in motion, and they are monitoring in traffic, they're monitoring in the streets, they're monitoring in the buildings. 305-1221, creating light activity in the middle of the street, they're monitoring. NMC 405. I am passing what is 1627 Holt Boulevard, where the state's light source was directly over me. If you recall my documentation, this is the significance of documenting 7VLL530. I believe driving out of what is 1627 Tad Office driveway, where the state's light source again was directly over me as I remained at this venue. That is in direct conflict with what I just published yesterday. 8NPS 357, 8RBT 038, 6FD 585. They're substantially similar. The bus is a means of interstate commerce, and federal group stalking and monitoring is in no way hindered. It is actually increased. It is broadened because you are exposed to more third parties in traffic. 7VLL503 was that correct number for that license plate driving at 1627? Let's see. 8SJM211051438. Understand, OMNITRANS is engaged in monitoring and use of their audible commercials like you're hearing. It is intentional while they are aware that I'm documenting them right now. It's intentional, and that is also a means of stalking with activity, by the way. Everything is serving monitoring, where the government is monitoring you and acting through the people of the state of California. These are the devices available on a bus where the light source is remaining aiming on the bus. 8AGR859. NEPTVNE. Alright, that is noise creation as I press a button on my phone. 8BHF186, I believe, speeds pass at the same time. That is literally the P.O.C. That's the level of group stalking that the state of California, the people of the state of California are engaged in. Noise creation on the bus, and a third party in a white Camaro appears, speeds right past. Not a coincidence, it's P.O.C. And again, that's license plate 8BHF198 in a Chevy. City of Ontario again. Crossing path. I can't see that light. Now, the reason why I was pressing my phone is because it is 8:38 a.m. That's what I want to document. And I am at the Ontario International Airport.
Welcome to Ontario International Airport, Terminal 2. If you are using Alaska, Delta, United, Aeromexico, or Volaris Airlines, please exit the bus here. Thank you for riding OMNITRANS.
Ontario Police number 1878, A.
Route 61, Fontana. Face coverings are required. No face covering. No ride.
All right, now this is P.O.C. for OMNITRANS. I am on the bus. They are engaged in what is remaining stationary. Doors are open, and they are creating light activity with the hazard lights. I remain subject to federal group stalking and monitoring in this way. Creation of audible activity, use of their speakers. Third parties that drive by are engaged in patrolling. The state is engaged in constant stalking via aircraft. The police are present at well, police are always in relevant position, but as I specifically documented, the police are present at the airport. This is P.O.C. and this is showing how, again, the criminal elements and the hallmarks remain present, including the fact that the state's light source is remaining in 7CVL020 monitoring, ARO230, that's an out-of-state plate, and they are monitoring with OMNITRANS. In addition, the hallmarks remain present. P209KO 8SMJ126 monitoring. Okay. All right. It is. Let me just let you know, the state's light source is moving in tow with the bus as we're driving out of the airport, and I believe these are Alaska Airlines airplanes. I may be incorrect, but it's got the face of what looks like an Indian male on the tail of it. It's a white plane with a face on the tail. It's a dark blue logo with a white face. The state's light source is right over where these planes are located.
If possible, please use rear doors.
Third parties use the, what you're listening to is P.O.C. Third parties use the stop request in order to stalk with activity. All right? You use whatever is available to you. It's the same thing when you're in a grocery store, in a library. All right? 7LXP545. And he does so. He gets up and presses the stop request as I turn my head in a different direction. All right? This is how hovering the system is. So it's a matter of becoming aware of the pattern. And group stalking is a very demented group stalking conduct that the state is acting through. These people that are on the bus and these people that surround in their cars, yeah, those are Alaska Airline planes. The state's light source over where those planes are parked as we're driving through the parking lot. But again, that light source is engaged in real-time movement. This is how it stays in the window, aimed on the front of the bus as it is in motion. All right, so we are, yeah, that's an Oklahoma plate, ARD230, monitoring. Ontario Police, vehicle number 1000A and 1879A, under the state's light source, which is engaged in real-time movement. Another Ontario Police vehicle, it's a white pickup truck. ARD230, keeping in tail with the bus the entire time. 7LXP545, same thing. Understand that's a creation of audible activity. third parties are one group acting together, and that is a matter of audible activity. This is an entirely malicious system. And when I say everything serves monitoring, this is why a public entity is engaged in stalking with light, because that is all that they are doing. That is all that they're doing. And remember, the state is stalking with light through a literal fake sun object in the sky, and third parties engage in the same demented stalking conduct. They are one group acting together, engaged in the same pattern of conduct. For monitoring, license plate 7UPA 901. $5596. I didn't see the rest of it. H1 looks like a SoCal gas pickup truck. It is currently 8:44 a.m. License 4V23608. License 8BHL464. The driver is stalking with activity using the horn as she's making a right turn, and she honks her horn at the same time I turn my back to get the license plate behind me. And the driver is engaged in that a lot. While they're driving straight, nobody is in their way, they engage in honking their horn, which is going to be assumed to be something that a bus driver is ordinarily doing, right? Because they're driving a large bus. It's a cautionary measure. It is a means of stalking with activity. 5VNN292. JB Hunt, California 0080806. Pulling an Amazon Prime trailer, engaged in P.O.C. $86677C3 8GEM006. Okay, at the intersection of Archibald and what is Inland Empire, they are monitoring at the Arco, at the Bakers, at the Wiener Schnitzel. They are all monitoring. Bimbo truck will be on camera, hazard lights on at the corner. This is all intentional monitoring conduct as I am in transit. 8PTY275. They're stalking with light. They're stalking as an entity. That's the people of the state of California as I am in transit. Passing Inland Empire and via Deluchetto, however you pronounce that. Via Molinara. That's where I'm at. And Inland Empire Boulevard. 7 MUG 394. Inside of these apartment homes, third party using their vehicle facing the street with their hazard lights on. This is not a coincidence. That is a pattern of conduct. Third parties stalk with light while in transit, and that's exactly how they do it. And that's on foot too. While I'm walking, that's exactly what they line the path. While the state is stalking with a fake sun, third parties are stalking with light in their manners and the methods that are available to them. The same demented conduct. It's 8:49 a.m. XLE 592. 7 WHU 682. Five 239 4J1.
Drugs and alcohol problems are getting you too close to home. Get help now. Insurance will cover everything. Locations everywhere. Get help. Drug and alcohol problems within 24 hours. Call 800-294-7417. 800-294-7417.
I did just capture video of the state engaged in what is stalking with light, as I am now on the third-party facilitating venue that is in motion. That is OMNITRANS bus, Route 61, that is going eastbound, and the state's light source is remaining and in the window of the front of the bus. And in real time, as I dictate that, the state engages in moving to the middle window. After the entirety of the my ride on the bus, it has been strictly aimed at the front of the bus, aiming light onto me, and a steady strip of light aimed onto the front of the bus. This is after documenting what is the state's light source remaining over these same venues wherever I remain for hours, while also being present in motion while I am literally on a bus and it is remaining. That is, understand that is the same conduct. It is remaining at the same venue. The venue is in motion, and while it is remaining stationary over a property, just one address being 435 South BONVIEW. That is P.O.C. All right. It's 8:53 a.m.
61. Montana. Face coverings are required. No face covering. No.
This is license 8TOY. That's a group stalker. 8TOX 632. Just stops randomly. Would you like some food? Anyway, 8JXJ491. That is audible activity. And that is also knowledge of being documented under a fake sense. 4DIF096, 8LXN826. 8DTN410, 7XLL994, 7MYV075, 8JFF013, 01132C1, 7DZL552, 4YQE723, 8BQL691, 6LQM739. They're just patrolling. It is an empty parking lot, and I don't know about to call him a fool. He is a fool, but he's a group stalker that's engaging in P.O.C. State's light source beaming over the marshals, sitting in her car. They're one group acting together. Let me give you this license plate, 05624C2. This group stalker sitting in her car as the state's light source is directly over me at Marshall's. 5TNJ874, 8JHS255. For YUX 189, 6 YA 989. It's 9:04 a.m. Okay, now let me show you what the state is engaged in, and I'm going to keep on reading license plates, the same thing. This is the pattern, this is the P.O.C. All right, it's 9:05 a.m. Not standing in front of Marshall's, I have continued walking. And what you're going to see in this picture is the absence of the light source over that store as it is captured. It is now over what is Sam Ask music. As I am walking in that direction. That's stalking with activity, group stalkers that are sitting in their car and patrolling around in this empty parking lot, and stalking with activity using their vehicles as I'm perusing through my phone. All right, 8CQR313, the same impossible light activity, meaning as these third-party group stalkers, because that's what they are, because this is why a public entity stalks with a light source that is rapidly moving across buildings as I walk. This is impossible light activity as they are driving by as I'm standing on the sidewalk, which is not occurring from from a light source being above, light shooting what would be horizontally onto my person as they're crossing paths. Those happen to be the criminal elements of monitoring. Those happen to be the identical behavioral pattern of what are group stalkers engaging in what is also sexual violence inherent to the pattern of conduct of monitoring. They are all sex offenders because they are all monitoring together, engaging in those same criminal elements pursuant to the same criminal purpose, while one or more of them, including that public entity, is molesting with light, touching with light, right? This is the significance of everything that I'm documenting. For YUX 189, if I didn't already read that plate. Okay, so you have the incredible occurrence of what is ongoing impossible light activity, while what is also incredible is a light source that is both over me at the Marshalls and then moving in the parking lot, and I'm capturing it squarely over Sam Ask, by the way, as I move, after it is squarely captured at 8:14 a.m. just yesterday, remaining over the same address as I remain there. So by the way, if I stood in the parking lot facing Marshall the entire time, that light source would remain right there, 8BSK786, which is equally impossible, all right, because that's not the sun. That's not the sun. That's going to be over Marshall's. That's not the sun that's over Sam Ask. That's not the sun that is engaged in that very rapid movement, changing in its relative position to you in real time as you move, as you take steps forward in any direction. That's stalking with light. That's the pattern of conduct, all right? And that is, I've already read this license plate, this group stalker. That was just moving around in the parking lot, now crossing path again as I'm stationary, 6YYA 989. Aware that their license plate has already been documented, so what the heck? Might as well just drive past again instead of a new one getting documented. I'm going to document all these. It is currently 9:11 a.m. And you just recall, we can go down the line. Do you think that the state's fake sun? Do you think that the actual sun being over Sam Ask music at Ontario Mills is the same as being directly over me at the Human Services Department, the TAD office at 1627 Holt Boulevard? Because it is not, all right? Do you think that the state's light source, because that's what it is, the sun, is being squarely over at Panda Walk all morning for hours remaining is the same as being over this location? It's not. It's not. And all this one is doing, 7HME532, looking like a sex offender. That is what that is. And that is also a group stalker. Listening to every word. That's a psychopath. That's a sex offender. That's a stalker. And the state's light source is over Sam Ask music. And it is also documented as remaining over me at 435 South Bonview, which is not the same thing at all. Not even similar, and it is impossible. And it is engaged in real-time movement, whereas it remains stationary. If it's engaged in such rapid movement, relative to just a few steps that I'm taking, me taking a few steps is not anything that is even measurable by a massive star such as the sun. And capturing it, literally, I'm moving my camera to an entirely different area in order to capture the light source that is hopping above buildings as I am taking steps across the parking lot. Whereas if it is actually captured, if this is actually the sun that you are clearly seeing above, for example, Marshall's, if you walk over to AMC, you're going to be taking a picture of the location relative to where the Marshall's is, because the actual sun is not moving around that rapidly, okay? And in addition to the fact, the sun is not over Marshall's anytime whatsoever, and it doesn't have to be in order for it to be day. Okay, the sun does not remain over you because it's daytime. That is not the way it works. At all. The state is aiming concentrated light because they're all engaged in monitoring. And inside of the store, those who are cleaning, those who are working, those who are preparing to open, they're all monitoring right now. That's why the state's light source is concentrated on this venue, because I am here. All right. This is the ceaseless and unhindered engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring. All right. And that's the pattern of conduct. And the state's light source clearly captured over what is Sam Ask, after being clearly captured over what is Marshall's, after being clearly captured over while I am on moving venue, that is third-party facilitating venue in transit, OMNITRANS, as I'm traveling from Holt Boulevard, where it is directly over that venue. We already know that. And it is remaining in the window as I'm traveling to Ontario Mills. And it is also remaining stationary over me at 435 South Bonview. That is not the same. That is not even possible, and that is stalking with light, all right? That's a psychopath, acting through every single last one of these psychopaths who are fully engaged in that same stalking conduct, all right? Stalking with light, using any means available to them, usually their vehicles, okay? They are psychopaths engaging. That is psychopath conduct. I'm sorry, that's not normal at all. Not normal, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And then serving no legitimate purpose. For what? Why are you even targeting American citizens? For what? And someone you don't even know. Okay, let alone, I'm not even going to address third parties whom the target individual does know, whose name they know, because you don't fully know them, because you don't know that they're monitoring you. So you don't really know those individuals, but you know their name, right? You think you know them. They're in your life. They pose a very serious danger to you because they're acting on behalf of the government. And this is a whole other level of psycho with those third parties whose name you know, who are engaging in the very same conduct while smiling in your face. That's the malice that characterizes this entire system, all right? And you are stripping it down, and you can literally document the entirety of that entity everywhere you go, because this is monitoring everywhere you go. It's 9:15 a.m. And by the way, yesterday, the state's fake sun remained directly over, as clearly captured in pictures and video, over 435 South Bonview. And it's engaged in real-time movement here at Ontario Mills. That is impossible. And that's just one example. P.O.C. All right, I did just capture video of the state engaging in the same exact, oh, how pathetic. She's a group stalker with a fake butt. How pathetic. 6RRC042. That was the third-party license plate, and I already read this one. This is how unimpressive California is. They have issues. They get all this augmentation on their person, and they're all screwed up on the inside. They're stalkers and sex offenders. 8 SUG 714. All right, that's P.O.C. And this is the ongoing pattern of conduct here at Ontario Mills. All she does is patrol out of the mall into her car, creating light activity. That might not even be her car, by the way. She patrols to her car, whether or not it is. She's creating light activity. She's patrolling, crossing path, creating light activity as the state's light source is concentrated onto this venue. All right, her vehicle used as a means of light activity. Moments after, by the way, the state is engaging in flying in relevant position, amplifying the sound of what is a plane, flying over the parking lot where I am also happening to document what is federal group stalking and monitoring. That's not a coincidence whatsoever. And I am speaking to that which is these psychopaths in California who are entirely unimpressive. They have issues. All right, exhibiting their fake body parts on the internet, acting as though they have something going on and they don't. They're stalkers. 8SNT 891. That's P.O.C. All right, there's nothing impressive about California. I'm stripping it down. I'm gonna let you know what California is really doing. This is what California is really about, and they have serious issues. That was security guard number 7YGM065, stalking with light. All right, not a coincidence. At the same time the state is flying over, amplifying the sound of plane activity. That's not a coincidence. That's group stalking. All right, that is the same exact pattern of conduct. That is P.O.C. It is 9:20 a.m. Here's a group stalker as I start operating my phone. 7UIH 909. I started operating my phone because I walked farther up the sidewalk inside of the same parking lot. And what you have are the third-party group stalkers that I documented in that license plate. It's driven by two males. It's an orange Jeep, and they're literally patrolling, just driving around, patrolling back and forth. That's called pacing, and they're doing it in a car. That's that demented, demonic conduct. It's also criminal conduct, but this is a demonic system, so I'm giving you context. They're monitoring, and it's also demonic activity. It's very demented, but that's how you monitor with communication devices. What I'm taking is the picture of the state's light source that is moving upward, meaning as I am walking from what is the Marshalls, the Sam Ask Music position. I was at that building while the state was amplifying the sound of plane engines, because while the state was flying in that plane, you didn't hear anything as it was approaching. It starts sounding the moment that I take that picture while it is in very close proximity. And then as it is at the building, you can still see it. You would still hear it if it was so loud, and you don't hear it. This is the targeting audible activity. That's stalking with activity as well under a state's light source, while third-party group stalkers in a security Jeep of Ontario Mills is stalking with light, providing light, engaged in criminal facilitation of that stalking conduct. Okay, it's 9:23 a.m. and I'm gonna take a picture of what is the state's fake sun that has moved up as I'm walking from Sam Ask Music location up toward the Krispy Kreme at 4485. This is just walking on the sidewalk from that location, and I'm like in the center, pretty much. And the state's light source is necessarily moving from being above what is Sam Ask Music to moving to being over the parking lot. It's in relevant position, remaining relevant to where I am. And I'm going to show that real-time movement. I'll go ahead and take a picture. This is the state's light source. remaining over. You see what I'm capturing. I'm not capturing Sam-ass music anymore because it has moved forward as I have walked forward away from that building. And I'm going to take a picture of the direction of Marshalls. Understand, this is in no way even relative to being over Marshalls as I captured it. All right, Marshalls, the logo is behind those trees. I just took a picture of it. And it is at 9:24 a.m. That's what I'm taking a picture of. The state's light source remaining and moving in relevant position to me. And the state stalking with planes hovering over the Ontario Mills and commercial-sized planes, and that was a small plane flying diagonally over the parking lot right next to me, amplifying that activity. All right, that's P.O.C. It is 9:24 a.m. All right, so understand, for purposes of monitoring, which is a state system, the state is flying over via aircraft. The state is stalking via its light source. And understanding, at the Krispy Kreme drive-thru, at Carl's Jr., they're in the drive-thru, they're at Jiffy Lube, in relevant position, and they're monitoring right now. Understand that. Okay, that's why the state has a light source. You literally have a group stalker that is engaged in the classic passive-aggressive conduct. She's standing on the street with her back to the street while she's standing in alignment, entirely engaged in criminal monitoring, but they engage in turning their back as though they are doing something, like they're focused on something else. It doesn't matter what direction you're facing, you're standing in alignment, and it is intentionally so. All right, it's P.O.C. and they're monitoring in those drive-thrus as well. Right now, it is 9:25 a.m. and that's the psychopath. Right? That's the psychopath. That is the psychopath. While, mind you, the state's light source, which I'm going to go ahead and capture, is in an entirely different location. Oh my goodness. If the state's light source, if this was actually the sun that was over Marshalls, I definitely wouldn't have even been facing Marshalls. I would have been facing Krispy Kreme. All right? And I definitely was facing Sam-ass music when I took a picture of the building capturing the state's light source over it. It's not even over that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and capture video of this because you're looking at not only the angles that I'm taking, this is very, very simple. There is no similarity whatsoever to the state's current position of its light source relative to where I was, and that's why it was seen over Marshalls. And it is over Marshalls. There is no argument, oh no, it just looks like it's over Marshalls. It's actually farther behind. No, it's not. It is directly over Marshalls, and that is why it is also directly over Sam-ass music. And this is why, as I am walking forward, you are also seeing what is the light source remaining directly over. It is directly over that venue, all right? And that's identified as such. And if it was farther behind, if it's so far behind, then when I'm walking over to what is Sam-ass music, then I'm not going to capture it directly over Sam-ass music from that angle either. If it's so far behind over Marshalls, that does not logically follow, and that does not make sense. And guess what? It is not the state's pattern of conduct. This is the state's pattern of conduct. As I'm walking forward up this street, closer to Krispy Kreme and farther away from Marshalls, the state's light source is remaining directly above me. It is captured directly above those objects, which are seen for purposes of identifying where the location of the state's light source is, because that's what it is. And it is directly over it, just like it's directly over me at 435 South BONVIEW. All right, and it is not here and also over that venue. It is here because the state is stalking with light, and this is insurmountable direct evidence of that. Okay, it is 9:28 p.m. I'm sorry, 9:28 a.m. And I'm gonna go ahead and capture video of that right now. Okay, while these psychopaths are just patrolling, just like you hear when I'm walking up BONVIEW, when I'm walking down HOLT Boulevard, they're psychopaths. They're just monitoring, they're just keeping presence. And being at Ontario Mills is another excellent example, because this is literally, as you're walking, as you're in the mall, they're just surrounding the entirety. The group stalker in the security guard van is patrolling around with light activity. They are literally just their minions just patrolling back and forth in the parking lot, driving all around, sitting in the drive-thrus, and this is monitoring conduct. And let me also tell you what else the state is doing, and it is also no different. It's creation of light activity, and what the state is doing on one day, which is already established as a pattern of conduct, doesn't change because the state tries to make it seem as though the state is not beaming light. The state is aiming light, all right? The state has a literal artificial light source in the sky, all right? And the state engages in changing the color of that light. The state engages in covering up that light and revealing it, which is light activity, by the way. And the state is engaged in that conduct today while they are maintaining presence. And where you are on any day documented, and it is established that you're stalking with a light source, you don't stop stalking. You don't just stop. That's not how that works at all. There is no getting out of the P.O.C. And it's direct evidence of what the state is doing while these psychopaths are acting with it, okay? They are equally psychopaths, understand that. Psychopaths. 5NEY229, sorry. Is a psychopath driving the security guard van. He's just patrolling back and forth. 05624C2, and I believe I already documented that one. Those Krispy Kreme donuts smell good though. Nobody said that psychopaths can't make a good donut or that psychopaths don't make good pizza. Okay, they do, or good chicken. I am making light of that, but it is a very serious thing. You need to get past all of this superficial, guys. This is how the public entity works. This is how the government works for purposes of monitoring on a massive scale. And you are a psychopath participating in it. You are. You are a psychopath participating in it. You are a psychopath operating it. And understand, you're talking about group stalking and monitoring, group monitoring. This is the government. This is the government designing this. And it is directly reflected upon that government. And it is directly reflecting upon that people. Because they are in it, okay? In it, and lost it. Because they're not winning it, they lost it. And this is literally documentation of the vicarious entity through which the government is acting for monitoring. While they're all walking around with, and you know what, it's fitting. They put fake butts on their body. They put, excuse my language, but I'm just being very frank because to me it's entirely pathetic. They are consumed with the superficial. But look, this is what the state is doing too, putting fake suns in the sky, okay? All manner of superficiality. While they're engaged in the most disgusting and despicable and demented conduct that you can't even fathom. You cannot fathom, and all you can do is just publish the evidence because the evidence speaks for itself. You can't describe something like that. Who thinks up something like that? You're twisted. And then who participates in? You are seriously twisted. And then you have a whole vast group of people, and that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. I'm going to continue to document while the state engages in hiding its light source because P.O.C. does not stop. Just like at nightfall, it does not stop. They're continuously maintaining presence in the path, continuously stalking with activity, and continuously engaged in stalking with light. The state is focused on one aspect that is, it is actually probative of everything, but the pattern of conduct is also probative of that system in existence. And the state engaging in covering up its fake light source is in no way stopping the pattern of conduct, which is ceaseless at all whatsoever. All right, group stalker. Creating light activity as they're driving forward with their headlights on, and another one crossing path. This is the pacing back and forth. 7TSH848 drives past. The other one is driving in the opposite direction, approaching from the Krispy Kreme side. Understand that's surrounding. They're both coming down the same street, and this is what the entirety of the group does on a ceaseless basis, all right? And they are doing so with light. That's P.O.C. And we already know that UPS is a group stalker and a sex offender. And this is representing the people of the state of California, 53399R1. Number 144320 on that van, on that pickup. That's P.O.C. 7BKX209. It's 9:35 a.m. And P.O.C. is ceaseless, just as you see from my published documentation. The state is engaged in constant stalking. These group stalkers are sitting in their cars, and they're also all in relevant position inside of the mall. 6KAG 963. Engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring as they're driving by. That's all they got to do. All they have to do is be inside of the building in relevant position, and that's all they got to do. Sitting in their car, looking like the stalker that they are. 296 51R2, and that's how they're maintaining presence. And P.O.C. is ceaseless, all right? And the state is engaged in ongoing stalking with its light source. The psychopath is engaged in ongoing close attention to every word that I am documenting as to its criminal activity as well. All right, so this is why you have what is a fake sun engaging in what is covering it up from in the sky with clouds, as though P.O.C. is going to stop. P.O.C. doesn't stop at night. As I showed, I published a video at 12. I believe like 12:12 in the morning, 12:17 in the morning, the state flying over just like it does every single day and night, because it is a stalker and it's a psychopath. That's the stalking by entity conduct, that's the stalking with activity, and that's stalking with light, just by means of the helicopter, as the state is engaged in flying over me at the Ontario Museum of History and Art, V103WO. And that was what I showed while it was the psychopath in that helicopter representing the state, engaging in the same pacing conduct, flying in a circle, literally like a psychopath, okay? Creating amplified audible activity, though, in relevant position. Also creating light activity, the light on that helicopter. Engaging in criminal facilitation of monitoring by the people of the state of California, the psychopath group stalking sex offenders that are patrolling on HOLT Boulevard on Euclid Avenue, just like they are right now. 7YYL614. And that is an example. P.O.C. doesn't stop when the fake sun goes down and when it's nighttime. The state is always stalking with light. Third parties, group stalkers, psychopaths sitting around that museum at night with headlights on, sitting in corners in the dark while the state is aiming light all over the place. They're psychopaths. They are stalkers, all right? With fake boobs, fake butts, all right, fake chins, fake foreheads. All right, they are consumed with superficiality in California, all right, and those are the superficial ones with no noggin, okay? They are the exact same psychopath, sex offending group stalkers that have a medical license, that have a law license, whatever training they have, and guess what? The same system is facilitated by them. They are the people of the state of California, and they're sickos. They are sick. They are sick, and this is evidence of it. This is not just my opinion. All right, this is reasonable assessment upon the direct evidence. And it's no different because it's a group. It is even worse because it is a group. All right, and it's 9:39 a.m. State is stalking with its light source. So as I'm sitting at the bench, I'm sitting at a bench that is betwixt what is Ulta Beauty and Marshall's, and the state's fake sun is right over the building. The state's fake sun is present. It's P.O.C. 5YUN640. You think that being over and be over me, directly over me, which is not a coincidence, okay? Being directly over me while I am at Ulta Beauty and Marshall's, and also remaining directly above me at 435 South Bonview. That's just yesterday. Okay, I have documented the same thing. Panda Walk, Stater Brothers, Coin Laundry, over the side angle at San Antonio and B Street. Are you serious? That is not the same. That is not possible. That is not the sun. That is extreme stalking. That is demented. That's the psychopath I'm documenting. Every single last one of these people, okay, even with babies in their hands, group stalking. All right, engaging in sexual violence of another while they have minor children. All right, it is absurd, absurd. These are psychopaths. These are the closeted psychopaths of California. Rampant sexual violence, just routine in the criminal system that they're all engaged in together. 5TWM653. driving by under a fake sun that they very well know is there, patrolling, engaging in the identical behavioral pattern, the security guard creating light activity via that vehicle while the state is flying over me, which is a pattern of conduct, over the empty parking lot, hovering over Ulta Beauty, right next to me, that's the P.O.C, and creating light, that's the same exact behavioral pattern. These are psychopaths, and they're engaged in targeting an American citizen, and they targeted the wrong one, and I am told all of their secrets, and I'm going to prosecute them and embarrass them on another federal level, okay? Group stalker, BPM 7727, which is a Washington plate. HNU060. It is currently 9:42 a.m. State has no choice, because it's stalking me, because I'm the leader, other than to engage in more provision of direct evidence against the people of the state of California, because the public entity is already prosecuted. Its pattern of conduct is established. You're showing how the people, the vicarious entity, is monitoring. 6DRL061 in house cell. And all of the federal repercussions pursuant to that. FYD290. You already know FedEx is a sex offender and a group stalker, and crossing paths with every other third party, entering into the parking lot, deliberate conduct, while the state's fake son moved backwards, mind you, from where I captured in video in the middle of the parking lot. Crossing path. This is license plate 7658E2. 260385 is the license, California license number on the side of that truck. He presses his brakes while he's accelerating to create light activity. So understand what the people of the state of California is. Where a government is monitoring you, the people of the state of California are not only those individuals, it's those companies through which they are facilitating and monitoring as well systematically. And they will all be prosecuted for it. Third-party group stalker walking past while the state is flying over in a plane. It's 9:45 a.m. That's intentional conduct. That's a psychopath. Let me give you a picture of malice. walking past, and the state is flying over me. That is license plate 8FYD290. That's group conduct. That's the state flying over in a small white plane. Six VOP 577. LZN 996. Two 9651 R2. It's crossing path. Possibly again patrolling. 8 HP J227. 5 TNJ 874. Being present over the museum at this time, being present over 150 East Holt is not the same as being directly over me at Alta. All right? That's P.O.C. Stalking with light, because all of these group stalkers are monitoring. LW 7LUW 671. It's 9:50 a.m. 5 SRC 0092. Eight EHC 717. Eight KNX 232. Seven YOU 116. Seven LLZ 825. 8 EOK 025. Eight JNJ 258. And that is the helicopter. That's called audible activity. That's called stalking directly by the state. $9:56 a.m. Ongoing light activity while the state is engaging in making its light source remaining directly over me in between Marshalls and Alta, getting brighter and dimmer and brighter and dimmer. That's called light activity with its fake sun directly over here, while it's also remaining over me yesterday at 435 South Bonview. This is license 7JBH138. 8LUU499. AY62. AY6Y60. That's a paper plate. This is 7LTC313. Creating light activity in the parking lot with flickering parking lot lights. Amplification of traffic. This is how the state keeps you surrounded with the elements for monitoring, while the people of the state of California maintain presence. Systematic monitoring. Seven TDH 626. All right, understand where I'm at. This is monitoring at Ontario Mills, and understand this entire property with regard to monitoring via communication devices is beyond these license plates that I'm documenting as they are driving past in front. That's called crossing path. These are communication devices that are patrolling in the vehicles that I'm identifying. They're monitoring at McDonald's. They're monitoring at Krispy Kreme. 8KNX232, crossing path again. They are monitoring at Jiffy Lube. They're monitoring inside of the mall, inside of Marshall's. This is ongoing criminal monitoring. OMNITRANS engage in systematic crossing path as they're driving past as well. 8V11905. Monitoring with communication devices spans a radius. This is massive monitoring that is ongoing. This is why you stalk with a light source in the sky. This is why you stalk via aircraft. This is why you amplify audible activity. It's 9:59 a.m. $7XYG. I'm sorry, hold on. 7XYG608. It is 10 a.m. on the dot. State's light source yesterday remaining over 435 South Bonview, as I clearly documented, and this is not the same whatsoever, as it is remaining where I am now after moving back over, mind you, and it is over the Ulta where I'm sitting on the bench, facing what is the street as they're just crossing path 3529 8X2. You're going to want to recall the state's light source remains all day long over 150 East HOLT, captured in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening. The state's fake sun is captured early in the morning, rising, quote unquote, rising. This is documentation I've already published over the Ontario Museum of History and Art, and then also captured as it is, quote unquote, setting over 214 South Euclid, which is directly across the street from that museum. That is remaining with light. That's stalking with light. but yet while I'm at Ontario Mills, it is directly over me at this venue, and that is impossible light activity. (10:01 a.m.) Let's see. All right, documentation of third parties is ceaseless, just as documentation of the state's stalking conduct is ceaseless because it's monitoring. I'm going to go ahead and get a picture of the state's light source as it is remaining right here where I am sitting at the bench. This is Ulta. And this is right in between what is the Marshalls, and that is also in direct conflict with where I was standing as it was seen over what is, even at this angle, understand it's in the depths of, at the corner over me as I'm sitting at the bench of the Ulta, but I captured it as I'm in front of Sam Ask Music. If the actual sun was at this location, which it is clearly captured, then I would not be able to capture it directly over Sam Ask Music. The same with as I walk straight toward Krispy Kreme on the sidewalk, and it is captured clearly above me after being directly over Sam Ask Music and over the parking lot, all right, requiring it to move forward as I am walking forward in the Ontario Mills parking lot. This is ongoing remaining conduct and following just in the parking lot. All right, it is no longer headed in the direction with its light source toward Krispy Kreme as I was walking. That is distinct movement. This is literal. This is an exact different location, pointing my camera in a different direction in order to capture the state's light source as it remains over me as I move. That's the significance of that. That is P.O.C. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of that location where I was standing, where the state's light source was over that location. And there is no quote-unquote sun at that location. All right. The security guard is at that location in the middle of that parking lot, stalking with light, acting with the state. All right, no light source as I'm standing on the opposite side of that same location. Here it is right here over Ulta Beauty. Crossing path is 224-2W2. And this is as I cross the street, Group Stalker 8P07094. And as they drive by, impossible light activity sweeping across the Ulta building, sweeping across the Marshalls building. Okay. That's ongoing amplification of audible activity via aircraft as I capture more and more damning evidence against the people of the state of California. It is 10:06 a.m. I'll go ahead and take a lap, and documentation shall continue. Mind you, while inside of the mall, the state is hovering by helicopters, and monitoring in the mall is ongoing, okay? I've just shown you the environment where it is ceaseless monitoring underway, and it's ceaseless monitoring inside of Ontario Mills. That's P.O.C. This is audible activity. That is P.O.C. That's the pattern of conduct. P.O.C. What I captured as I'm walking inside of the mall, which was at Ulta Beauty, understand the creation of what was super duper amplified, loud Noise, 7KWF385, which they're engaging in indoors. 88961A1. This is that which they engage in routinely outdoors, surrounding with activity. That's what the state was doing. That's what I captured inside. That is extraordinarily loud conduct that they're engaged in inside of the mall for purposes of monitoring me as I walk through that venue. And that's what I captured as I was walking through. 5NSX197, 7CLD939, 8TRP540, 8BCE100, 8CJE638, all right, and the state's light source is remaining above, movement, impossible movement, moving about in that parking lot of the Ontario Mills and remaining above me as I'm walking in an entirely different direction now, headed toward what is Milliken and the parking lot of the McDonald's where they're monitoring. 7RKC300, 8FMR390, 6LZB154, 5788, 7Y1, 43599S2, 6KGF448, 8JJZ568, 7TEE435, 8RGL416, 7P32699, 7FPS259, 7BOM214, 8NJW136, 8JFV490, 8MNM. Let me see. Looks like 8MM714, I guess. 661NL exits the drive-through, parks nearby as I pause to get this license plate. Oh, 8MMM714. This is ongoing group stalking just as you move. They just maintain presence. Doing the same thing, by the way, inside of the mall on foot as I stop to look at and read like an information sign, 7FYW752, and I make a sudden move. Third party stops, staring at her phone, monitoring. 7HCG856, or 586, sorry. And this is 7JPC574 again. And this is while I make a sudden move, stopping, reading the information sign. Third party stops and stops right by me, examines her phone, and then continues walking. She stops beside me as I make that move with simultaneity, doing the same thing. They're just doing it in cars, okay? 7LQB763, 7JOG601, BH73V72, that's a paper plate, 7ZSW846, 8PHN093, 8SYE911, 6WHJ791, 3599, 8M1, 7KBT089, 7YBH712, 7VUA623, 8FYC708, 7M60724, 7GIK201, 94112N1, 7KFK782, 6PRK745, 6VOB541, 02865K2, 8PFK045, 97145Y2, 8PPN952, 8DVS911, 7HMM145, 5SJB573, 09793B3, 7HCV444, 7ALV117, 8CBR782, 8CAY946. Monitoring at the 76 car wash. State's fake sun directly over the venue. Moving as I move. License 6YFV669. It's 8NPH698. 98415W2, 6XDR168, 7YET381. They're monitoring at Holiday Cafe, at the large truck parked beside the Baja Fresh. They're monitoring, creating light activity, lining the path, systematically in traffic at Milliken and Inland Empire. The exact same behavioral pattern, the same psychopaths in relevant position under the same light source. 7EQE948, I'm sorry, 8 NI, I can't really see that one. 5 VSR 139. 6 PTK 041. 8 GRL 781. 6 TGA 939. 67W 954. Can't really see that one that clearly. This is 7CW 954. I can't. You can scratch that one because I can't really see that one that well. 6XDR 168. That was traffic driving past at Inland Empire and Milliken. And understand, the police are right here at the intersection. Not a coincidence, while I'm documenting, making a U-turn back to drive the opposite direction on Inland Empire while another police vehicle remains at the red light. This is relevant positioning. And monitoring with them, 7 LVA 939, okay? State's fake sun is over 76, all right? After being over Marshalls, after being in my window on the OMNITRANS bus, remaining in that same position. Let alone, that's just today, moving in the middle of the parking lot as I walk toward Krispy Kreme and then back over Ulta. That is ongoing movement of a light source, and this is ongoing monitoring and documentation of the people of the state of California engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. It's 10:44 a.m. This is 8 NYG 135, 8 FTM 104. 8RQR088, 6AXJ199, 5XFG597. All right, let me show you what is a picture of the state's light source now that I'm standing at Inland Empire and Milliken. That's license plate 205SC. It's a handicap plate. 7BWC 822. Can't really sound that clearly. It's 10:45 a.m. and this is the light source over what is Canes. 7BNU 328. They're trying to speed pass as I go to the camera function. Literally. DAPPER8 is a stalker, not dapper. 6SXR 370. BRAD 691. This is the light source directly above me as I am facing what is the Canes. So it's facing the same direction. 7ZHK781. And it is also remaining stationary directly above 435 South BONVIEW yesterday. Remember, 24 hours ago? 8:15 a.m. up until after 12, then 1, then 2. That's P.O.C. That is impossible. 6, I can't really see that one. 8, BRM 147. That is the helicopter again. Sounding. That's the state. They're all group stalkers acting together. Let's get these license plates. 8KKN 695. I'm gonna go ahead and get this video, okay? TBYRD 04. 8 RTZ 686. 7DSY 117. 8 RXA 974, excuse me. This is 4GNM 023, substantially similar. 6 ABG 488. OMNITRANS number 2347, sitting at the same intersection. They're monitoring all together. Helicopter just flew over. State's light source right over the same venue. 8 CRZ 637. 5 SJB 573. BHNA 726. 6 VL. I can't really see that one. This is FedEx 15300V1, U.S.86876, 40326 on that vehicle. This is license 3K Squad. She's on the group stalking squad. Okay, she's pathetic. You've got an Orkin vehicle next to what is the OMNITRANS. They're going to be on camera. The OMNITRANS is taping all of them patrolling right now on traffic. OMNITRANS Route 82, referencing that camera as well. It's P.O.C. All right, they're driving into the Plaza of the Ontario Mills. That's OMNITRANS number 2343. This is license 7R73611, I believe. This is 5 SRN 456, 8 CHN 319, 5 HBL 447, 6 FBZ 661, 6 UNH 406, 09492J1, 8 FWW 691, 8 TTH 486, 6 JZY 031, 7 GXD 970. These are loud treks, Mathis Brothers, for purposes of audible activity. Everything that they do, you're talking about group stalking, it's intentional presence, as intentional as placing a light source. This is Mathis Brothers, truck license 91709W1. All right. This is California license number 0525694. All right, impossible light activity as 8LZN 408 drives past that truck. Group stalking conduct as I focus on it trying to read the lights. That's a stalker. 7CHN 092. Mathis Brothers license 01124H1. Yeah, that's 01124H1. All right. Not even the placement of the state's light source is that which is a cause of any sort of light activity as the state is engaged in creating. 4 YDG 4708 DNU 345, stalking with light. And doing so in such an impossible manner is directly incriminating conduct. You're doing so because you are monitoring. This is 7ZKH382. OMNITRANS, go ahead. Number 1327, license 1370398, 6LEZ346, 6PJS944, 6RZM060, 8SXU260, 8LJF276, 51349T1, 5ZGW403, substantially similar, 57272Y1, 8NSD593, 4SEL801, 5JSY127, 6UED522, 11972S2, 8ETA207, 8CLP218, It is currently 10:51 a.m. Seven HMA 886. Ooh. 79931W1, 6PGA 633, CBE 42. 6XVR 916, 3 SSL 757, 4 HLA 423, 25301K2, 7JJW 761. I'm facing the U.S. Bank at 1261 Inland Empire, this would be? Is this Inland Empire or is this, yeah, I believe this is Inland Empire. The AM, PM, the U.S. Bank, the Chevron is on the side that I'm standing on, 8D YR 272. 6VHC 802. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of what is no sun over the locations where I was at. Marshals, I'm gonna point my camera in that direction and I will show you where the state's light source is, which is right above me. So facing what is the Marshals, the Alta, Sam Ass Music, this is in this direction. The light source, the sun, if it was actually present over that parking lot as I captured in picture and video, then it would be visible. Now it is not. I'm going ahead and turn my body to face what is Milliken, as the state's light source is directly over me as I stand at the Chevron. 8LXG749. That is stalking with light, and that is also not being over 435 South Bonview and remaining for hours while it's moving all over the place as I move at Ontario Mills in Ontario. 7SZA729, 7WG H396, 8NBG919. And that is a plate that I can't see. It's an out-of-state plate anyway. I'm looking at the Kosuki Ramen. It says grand opening. Valerie Furniture, license 5DR J225. And the Chevron, it looks like Big Catch. Oh, the Big Catch. That's what that's supposed to be. The Hooters and the Denny's is in front of me. That's where I'm facing. This is P.O.C. State's light source remaining directly above me as I walk on the sidewalk. License plate 8KTW911. 8V6 6S4. That's some different looking plate, white and green. This is license plate. State fake sun over me, 5KRM256. 5KRM256. It's 10:56 a.m. All right, 2735 3C3 8 TBF 828 6 URX 080 7 XIS 381 8 LWU 916 7Y XS 599 7 JHP 888 7 EGD 829 8T YU 579. It's 10:57 a.m. (4261A) is the address on the face of that U.S. bank. I am entering into the plaza. And Daphne's 4261B. They're all parked around. They're monitoring. Okay, monitoring ongoing. That's why you stalk with the light source, third-party group stalker, not even facing with me with headlights as I'm walking in. This is aiming light while they're monitoring in their car and engaging in criminal facilitation. That's the pattern of conduct. Group stalker sitting in her car right beside me. 6RNU 425 drives right past me. All right, this is license plate 7XTH 3004. I'm sorry, 7XYH 304. 5 MRL 914. 8 NBM 911, 8 RSY 776, 8 DXP 524, 8 SVB 003, 8 PAU 474, 8H XJ 064, 6 UOK 240, 5C IC 126, 8 MSY 641, 6 PZ T 081, 7 UJK 915, 8 NMH 880, 6 RVL 612, YAO 555, 068 RG, that's a handicap plate. I'm in the plaza where there's a Staples, a Sam's Club, a Pick and Save, bargains and closeouts. N386T0. So let me tell you what all these third parties that I continue to document lack, and that is any criminal defense whatsoever in a federal court. It's 11 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of what is the state's fake sun as I stand at this parking lot. Eight AKT 324. Alrighty, understand criminal monitoring ongoing while you're at work, while you are a customer, while you're walking past, while you're doing whatever you're doing. This is why the state stalks with a light source. So you can go by and get a receipt, and it's going to be legally irrelevant in federal court. This is how government monitors you, by the way. So N386T0, just like the rest of them, engaged in P.O.C, vicarious entity acting with that state. This is 7COH614. And not only that, third parties intentionally engage in P.O.C and maliciously engage in such presence under that form, by the way. That's how the government engages in that system. While, mind you, they're under a fake sun. This is 8 BWT 246. Pay attention to the background. Everything you're hearing is deliberate audible activity. 6LVV 621, 7JMV 310, 8NHR 501, 7UMZ 777, 8TGJ 356, 8JBS 204. That's called stalking with activity. This is license 6BFP094. And that is Brinks. That is stalking with that activity. Beeping of the truck. Stops in front of what is Sam's Club to engage in stalking with light conduct using the hazards. By the way, while I turn on a communication device, that is P.O.C. It's 11:01 a.m. (11:02 a.m.) 5XSU 611 monitoring me to the light activity that Brinks is supplying, criminal facilitation and sexual violation by Brinks and that third party and the rest of them. States fake sun over the venue while they're engaged in monitoring together in facilitation of that monitoring conduct. It is license 731ZG, that's a handicap plate. Want to capture this on video. This is the state's light source as I am standing in the parking lot of what is Staples located at 921. This is in Ontario. This is across the street where I was, and the State's Fake Sun was over there. Okay, this is the same area where you would see it if it was in the sky, if that was actually the sun over me at Marshall's, over me at Sam Ask Music, over me at Ulta. This is after I have walked this direction and then come up the street this way, then walk through the parking lot. This is the State's light source right here. Also remaining over me, as I documented and clearly seen in video, at 435 South Bonview, and that is just one address where I have engaged in the same documentation. This is stalking with light, while the people of the state of California, including Brinks, this is called stalking with light, and that's criminal facilitation. All right, they represent the people of the state of California engaged in monitoring and engaged in sexual violence while doing so. It's P.O.C. It is 11:03 a.m. I just recorded that on video. This is license 7JHE838. This is license 7VHE832. This is license LIV4, the number 4, ROC. Brink Security, that is number 182402. Let me get this license, 8NKN135. That is Brink Security Vehicle number 182402. In relevant position at the entrance of Sam's Club and providing what is the ongoing light activity by third parties that stalk with light in this manner, 8G0784. 8G07684, excuse me. And this is license 8HCJ756. Again, this is Brink Security US.07654. And this is license 2756328. And they're armed with a camera, which I'm going to use to document. P.O.C. monitoring. Fake sun, planes flying over, they're monitoring. P.O.C. And this is at Sam's Club. I did reference the camera on the side of that Brinks vehicle. That's an Indiana plate with that 2756328. That's P.O.C.
It's 45.
License 8CMA195. License 7UTD521. That UID521. And that is the state amplifying planes flying over me while I'm at the Sam's Club. 44ANGEL. Right? That is the picture of malice while they all maintain presence, while Brink Security's hazard lights are on, while the fake sun is over the venue. All right? Walking on their shopping carts, driving past in the parking lot, sitting around in their cars, surrounding systematic, seamless group stalking. 8H, oh, I got this one already, 8HCJ756, driving back and forth, pacing back and forth. 8NMH880. 6TTE684, 8PCT744, 8SCY563. Flying over my head and amplifying the sound of that activity. And if you want to disregard amplification, then if you can hear it, then they're flying at a very low elevation. However you want to play it. It is amplification because that is P.O.C. and that is state action. And flying over my head in front of Sam's Club has nothing to do with an airport. 7VRF536, the same with flying over me at the intersection while I'm standing there under the state's light source, which is in no way the sun whatsoever, has nothing to do with an airport. That's the pattern of conduct. While mind you, I happen to be documenting what is federal group stalking and monitoring and identifying those who are instrumental to that criminal system that entity wants to keep concealed. And everything that it does is incriminating 8G07684. I wasn't even crossing the street. I was walking on the sidewalk. This third party that's creeping in his car is now stopping. Oh, you want to cross? I wasn't even at the driveway. He's monitoring, and he is engaging in stalking in his car. Oh, she. The same license plate, 8G07684. I am in front of, what is this? I believe this is Staples. It is currently, let me put my mask on, 11:08 a.m. I did depart OMNITRANS Route 61 headed westbound at 1:19 p.m., which I captured a picture of as that third-party facilitating venue on wheels, where I am subject to what is federal group stalking and monitoring while in traffic. Everyone on that bus, including the driver and third parties that surround while that bus is in motion. Those are in traffic in third-party facilitating venues while you're in motion. That was P.O.C. underway, including the state acting directly. That was Ontario Police at 1:03 p.m. on the cameras of that OMNITRANS bus. At 1:03 at the Ontario airport, that was P.O.C. and it is captured on the cameras at the airport where the OMNITRANS bus is remaining at a halt, while the state, that is Ontario Police, in relevant position in front of the bus, creating substantial light activity with 3 police vehicles and engaging in being at the parking lot areas behind a third-party group stalker. That is a criminal facilitation. While understand there is no form whereby criminal monitoring is not underway. This is how the state engages in P.O.C. And they were in relevant position creating light activity while I was on the bus, and that was Ontario Police captured at 1:03 p.m. Those 3 police vehicles behind one third party in a white SUV truck, I believe, and they were at the entrance of at the airport. You have, when you go into the parking lot, it's like you have to put in a ticket or you have to pay. So she's at the entrance of the airport. I'm sorry, of the parking entrance. So it's right there in front of traffic. This is positioning, and this is form for what is monitoring while I'm on the bus. And this is captured, and one of the vehicles is the same one that I specifically identified by vehicle number, and this is all seen on the cameras. That was P.O.C. at 1:03 p.m. I departed that bus at 1:19 p.m., and that was license 1545811. The state engaging in flying in relevant position in a commercial-sized airplane, which I captured on video in front of me as I'm sitting on the bus. So as the bus is driving westbound, I am facing south, sitting on the bus, and the state is engaging in stalking in the same manner. And this is not new. This is substantial P.O.C. that I have experienced on OMNITRANS. And this is exactly why I started documenting and understanding how P.O.C. is ceaseless. And the state literally engages in flying low enough to be captured in video through my window, flying in relevant position as I'm facing south, sitting on the bus, and the bus is driving west. The commercial-sized plane, this is the state, engaged in what is stalking, engaged in relevant positioning as I am on the bus, and I depart at 1:19. I just want to make sure I document that as well. And I did go to third-party facilitating venue Mercy House, where the state's light source remained, and I also captured the pictures. This is what you want to capture. This is the significance of what I'm putting on the share drive. The images of the impossible light activity while the state's light source was planted over that venue, engaging in chicanery with its light source as it moved from side to side, which I also captured in video. And also, while the state is aiming light inside of that venue, while at the same time acting as though the light source is moving west, and that is mutually exclusive. It's moving west and yet impossible light activity. I'm sorry. It's moving west and yet light is still being aimed inside of the same window. And that light was appearing and disappearing and appearing and disappearing. And that is the same exact pattern of conduct. That is not the sun, and that is also not going to occur by the sun. If you pay attention to the placement of the state's light source, that is a very specific and precise placement of light inside of that venue. That is also the ongoing pattern of conduct. Light in all positions, including on the ceiling inside of that venue, and on my person. That is at third-party facilitating venue Mercy House at 435 South Bonview. Again, this is after it remained directly over me, moving all about as I am at Ontario Mills. This is also after being captured, remaining in position on the third-party facilitating venue in motion OMNITRANS bus, while I am both en route to and from Ontario Mills, and remaining in position such that as I captured walking on HOLT Boulevard over the Dollar General, the Dollar General at the corner of Bonview and HOLT Boulevard, and this is the state's light source that is over the same area that it is in the morning where it is supposedly rising. where it's present in the morning. And again, I have caught the state's light source present early in the morning at literally every venue. This is impossible light activity. This is stalking with light, and this is more documentation of that, clearly direct evidence against the people of the state of California, through whom the public entity that is the state of California is monitoring, and this is why you stalk with a fake sun. The state was literally engaging in aiming light onto B&G Plaza. Understand that that is the same location where the state's light source is in the morning. This is not the sun whatsoever, especially after all of the movement that I'm capturing in real time at yet a different venue, Ontario Mills, replete with stalking by planes over me, helicopters over me. Very targeted conduct, and that is federal group stalking and monitoring. That is the P.O.C, and the images and the video are the complete documentation. They are time-stamped, and this is that which is showing not what the state is doing just during the day. Understand, stalking with a light source is indicative of an entire system underway, a ceaseless system, an unhindered system, and that is a pattern of conduct, meaning the same pattern of conduct is underway at night via different methods. Third parties stalk with light. They surround as a group and they stalk with light. The state stalks with light using their emergency vehicles. This is the pattern of conduct underway at all times. It is indicative, irrespective of the state's tampering with the environment. The same entity that is placing an artificial light source in the sky is engaged in ongoing manipulation of that environment in real time. And so this is speaking to that which is occurring at all times at nightfall, when it is quote-unquote raining, when it is quote-unquote cloudy. P.O.C is ceaselessly underway, and that is the full significance of what is a fake sun, what is an artificial light source, what is stalking with light. While you are stalking with activity and stalking by entity, you are engaged in a criminal monitoring system in concert with the people of that state. That is the pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C.